Hey everyone, Jay Whitner here with Space Headlines. We do a quick summary of what goes on in space every week. And today we're going to be talking about the fourth week of November 2019. Our first item is Ariane Group. They've been working with ESA toward development of the Ariane 6 rocket for quite some time. And the Ariane Group has come up with some upgrades they have recommended be at least considered to enhance Ariane 6 in the years to come. What they're talking about is an enhanced payload adapter to have more flexibility for different numbers of satellites, different sizes of satellites. They'd like to upgrade the main engines of Ariane 6 using some technologies that they've learned about in their quest for a fully reusable engine called Prometheus. They've learned enough, they think they can make the engine be better. They also would like to improve the duration of the auxiliary power units, have a carbon composite upper stage, which will save some weight, and simpler solid rocket boosters. The first flight of Ariane 6 is probably going to be in either 2020 or 2021. Space News came out with a really nice graphic that you see here to the left of the screen. And it basically reflects the different national space programs with the size of the circle being equivalent to or representative of the amount of spending that the National Space Agency is doing. And as you can see, the United States has the biggest circle on the chart. The overview is government space programs are growing at roughly 6% a year, which is a good thing. The five biggest government programs are the United States, China, Russia, France, and Japan. Now, while you do see that the United States circle is substantially larger than the other circles, it's a little bit misleading, perhaps, in terms of the labor costs in the different places and the operational costs. So, for example, a U.S. aerospace engineer is compensated about triple what a China aerospace engineer is compensated. So, while the data is interesting and useful, it's not, the disparities are not as large as you might initially assume. SpaceX has a mission coming up for ISS resupply. And this mission is going to carry some interesting cargo up to the space station. They're going to carry what the media has been calling mighty mice. These are specially grown mice that have that are big and muscular. It's a test of muscular degeneration is what they're working on. So they're taking up the mighty mice. They're taking up the Cold Atom Lab, which is cutting in physics to learn about that. And they're also taking up a robotic leak detector. And this will help the space station astronauts with maintenance issues pertaining to the cooling system, that they'll be able to get sort of automated checking of large parts of the cooling system. Ariane had a big milestone. The 250th flight of an Ariane rocket happened. The Ariane rocket family, which is currently represented by the Ariane 5, had prior incantations of the Ariane rocket, totaling now 250 flights, and a very enviable success record for those flights. In this recent flight, they took up two communication satellites, one for Egypt and one for Inmarsat. The Egyptian satellite was built by Thales Alenia Space and Airbus. The Inmarsat satellite was built exclusively by Thales Alenia Space. Rocket Lab has a launch plan for late November, and it's going to do a couple of things. They're going to launch 7 small satellites, and they're also going to be working toward their reusability plans, which are rather innovative. So, if you're not familiar with Rocket Lab, their rocket is called the Electron. They're a US company, and they launch their rockets out of New Zealand. Boeing's Starliner project, their commercial crew entry has had some steps forward recently. Boeing has attached a Starliner spacecraft to an Atlas V rocket. This is all part of the preparation for an upcoming test flight. There will not be any crew on this test flight. The flight is anticipated to happen on or about December 17th. And the first crewed flights for both Boeing and SpaceX will probably happen in either late 2020 or 2021. Jan Werner is the head of the European Space Agency, and he's all smiles because the member nations of ESA have basically given full funding to the agency for the next 3 years. And this is a very interesting aspect of how they do things there. It's a 3-year funding round. So it gives added stability to programs. And I believe that it also causes lower overall costs because they don't change their minds as often with funding going up and down and causing a schedule chaos and additional expenses. Perhaps someday NASA can do things in a similar fashion with multi-year funding. That's it for Space Headlines, covering the last week of November 2019. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you in a week or so with the first week of December. Happy Thanksgiving, and take care.